Dear learners, I welcome you all to attend this session for scanning electron microscope. So after attending this lecture, you will be able to understand type of electron microscope, the need and applications of scanning electron microscope, and you will be able to explain the principle as well as requirements of scanning electron microscope. This is my first lecture. In this lecture you will be able to explain or understand these things. For instrumentation you have to watch my second video. Now I will start the lecture. So my first question is, why electron microscope? Now as we know, there are two types of microscope, optical and electronic. So now we should know why there is a need of electron microscope. So it is clear by this picture. So here you can see, now this is the scale of the measurement unit of the particle, or you can say any material. So why there is a need of electron microscope? So first, we are human being. So our human eyes have some limit and are able to resolve the 2 points that are 0.2 mm apart from each other. Means what? We cannot measure or we can't resolve the 2 points that are closer than 0.1 to 0.2 mm. So for the measurement of this kind of material, we require electron microscope because our human eye have some limitations. So this is the clear picture. You can see we can measure till 2 mm. Here there is a 1 mm, but actually 2 mm only. So this thing we can measure by human eye. After that we require the light microscope, when there are also some limitations. It can be measured till 100 nanometer. That's why we require electron microscope. So this is the need. It will help to measure till 0.1 nanometer. So this is the limit of electron microscope. Means it have no limit. That's why we require electron microscope. Now there are two type of electron microscope. First is SEM. You can say scanning electron microscope, and second is TEM, means you can say transmission electron microscope. Now what is scanning electron microscope? What is the difference between scanning electron microscope and transmission electron microscope? So scanning electron microscope is used to visualize the surface of the object. It will give the information about surface, you can say the outer surface. But TEM means transmission electron microscope can give the information about inner surface. You can measure the inner structure of material by transmission electron microscope. So today we will see SEM, means scanning electron microscope, in detail. Now which kind of information we can get by using SEM? So SEM provides this major information. First is morphology, then topography, composition, orientation of grains, as well as crystallographic information. So what is morphology? So morphology means the measurement of shape and size. It covered the shape and size. Then topography. Topography means surface features of an object. Means what? the texture, the smoothness, the roughness, means how it looks, how your material will be look, can measure by topography. Then composition. Now composition means the elements and compounds that constitute the material. So that is known as composition. We cannot get which materials are present, but we can get some outer structure of the material and chemicals. That is composition. Now orientation of grains. So here we can measure the orientations, means arrangement, and crystallographic information, means how the crystals are arranged in a material. So the SAM is a versatile advanced instrument which is largely employed to observe the surface phenomena of the material. Now we will see in detail scanning electron microscope. So it produces image. Ultimately we have to scan by electron microscope. That's why there is a name scanning electron microscope. So it provides an image of a sample by scanning it with a focused beam of electrons. Means here we have to apply the electron beam and we will get the image. So most important thing is how electron interact with atom, or in how much amount the electrons interact with atom. So it produces various signals that contain information about the sample's surface topography as well as composition. So we can get these things by applying scanning electron microscope. So here this is a very important thing. Electrons interact with atom, means here we have to apply electrons, it will interact with atom and we will get the image. This is the simple thing how we can get the image. It will clear in detail further. Now we will see first why scanning electron microscope. This is again my question. Because it provides 3D appearance to measure the surface structure of the sample. See, you can see here I have taken two examples. See, now here this is the image. This is the image of the cards. So if you are applying this under the object, you can get the first image. This is the final image from this. So you can get this kind of 3D appearance. You can see over here also this flower is in a 3D appearance. Now why 3D appearance? Here there is example of pollen grains. But why there is a 3D appearance of pollen grains? This is again a question. So it will give a good depth field. That's why we will get a very high resolution. So we will get the 3D appearance. Now what are the advantages of SAM? Why we have to use the SAM? What are the advantages? So first it gives detail, as I said, it gives detailed 3D and topographical imaging and the versatile information from different detectors, and it works very fast. Now modern SAM allow for the generation of data in a digital form. Means if you have observed my first slide, there is a picture of scanning electron microscope. So if digital means it's attached with computer. So whatever electrons you are applying, whatever current you are applying to the object, to the material, you will get an 3D image in the computer of that particular material. So most SAM samples require minimal preparation actions. This is also an advantage. There is no preparation of sample. There are some requirement. There are some requirement of material which we can apply in the scanning electron microscope, but we can't fulfill that particular requirement. So we can use that kind of specimen chamber, as you can say sample holder. So it doesn't require any preparation. You have to directly take your sample, put it in your sample holder, and you can scan and you will get an image. It's very easy. Now we will see. Now we are clear with the advantage also, with the need also. Now my interest is applications of SAM. So SAM have a versatile application in all the field. It's not only for pharmacy, it's not only for science. Everywhere SAM is there. So material science, first application is material science. So material science means here we can measure the nanofiber. Nanofiber we can measure by scanning electron microscope. Then the second application is a microchip assembly. It's a very interesting application. Means what? You can measure microchip under scanning electron microscope. You can measure the process. There is a change in a fabrication process. You can measure the process, the change in a fabrication process under the scanning electron microscope. So you can produce the microchip by using scanning electron microscope. Then a very interesting forensic investigations means here it is used to analyze of the gunshot residue. Then we can measure the jewelry examination. We can identify the jewelry as well as handwriting and print analysis, which cannot be done by human eye. That's why this is a very important. Now next is our interest and a very useful nowadays also, if you can see, for biological science. It's measuring the effect of climate change of species as well as identifying new bacteria and virulent strains. So dear learners, today we are suffering from a pandemic situation, COVID-19. So here there is an application of scanning electron microscope. We can measure the effect of climate change of this species to identify a different bacteria as well as virus. If you observe that this pandemic situation is worldwide, but in some country it's less, in some countries more. If we are talking about India, then in Maharashtra it's very high. In Gujarat some quite, it's some low, and in Kerala it's almost reduced because coronavirus also have some strain, some virulent strain. Then there is a always effect of climate. That's why there is a change in a species. There is a change in a species of bacteria and virus from the strain. So to measure that DNA or RNA strain, we can use the scanning electron microscope. So now next application is a soil and rock sampling. So soil quality measurement. Here we can measure the quality of soil for farming and agriculture by using scanning electron microscope. Then medical science is our next interest. So it's aimed to identify the disease as well as virus, testing new vaccinations and medicines. We can test, we can analyze new medicine under scanning electron microscope, comparing tissue sample between particles in a control and test group. So all we need come in one application, one instrument, that is scanning electron microscope. Now we will see the principle of scanning electron microscope. So you can see the diagram explain the interaction of electron beam with the specimen and the signal emitted from the sample. So how it works? What is the basic principle of scanning electron microscope? So here, as like other instrument, there will be a energy source, there will be a source of light. So here there is a source, and from that particular source the electron beam come to the sample and it has some electrons, and that particular electrons are known as primary electrons. Now when these primary electrons come toward this sample, what happens? It gives the energy to the atomic electron of this particular sample, and it will release the secondary electrons as a secondary electron, X-ray, then backscatter electron, like this. And we can measure the secondary electrons from all this sample, from all the point of specimen. So there will be always a measurement of secondary electrons which released by primary electrons of the samples, and there is a backscatter electrons. Now backscatter electron means which come back, which cannot produce reflection. So there are, as per the type of electrons, there are three type of detectors to measure the electrons to get the image. So mostly these two are in use, secondary electrons as well as backscatter electrons. So there are two type of detector, secondary electron detector as well as backscatter electron detector. So this is the very simple and basic principle of scanning electron microscope. Now we will see how to get an image. So here there is a light source, or you can say here there is a electron gun. So from this gun you have to apply the electron. These electrons come over here. Now this is the lens, so it will again reflect and it come to the detector, and here by computer you will get this image. So how it work? It's very clear from this picture. So you have to first apply the electrons. It comes from the instrument. We will see the instrumentation part in the next lecture. So must see my next lecture. For the instrumentation part you will get clear that how to get an image, Now next is requirement of scanning electron microscope. So what it requires? So here the first requirement is accelerating voltage. It should be higher. From 100 volt to 30,000 volt. Now why it should be higher? As I said, here our interest is interaction between electron beam and sample. So if accelerating voltage increases, the interaction between electron beam and sample will increases. So our interest is to increase accelerating voltage. So we have to apply this much voltage. Now resolution. So obviously we will get the resolution of 0.7 nanometer to 5 nanometer. To operate under vacuum, this is also a very important requirement. We should operate the scanning electron microscope under vacuum at all time to avoid the atmospheric particle, the interaction between the electron and atmospheric particles as well as the gas molecules. And sample should be electrically conductive. Whatever sample we can use, that should be electrically conductive. For example, you can use the samples like gold, silver, aluminium, but it's not possible all time. So you can also apply the holder. Whatever sample holder should be there, it should be made up of electrically conductive materials. And the next is size of sample is limited by specimen chamber. So you have to choose the specimen chamber, you have to choose the sample as per the size of the sample holder. So these are some basic and very important requirements of scanning electron microscope. Now we will see the instrumentation part in the next lecture. So must watch the next lecture for instrumentation in detail. Thank you. Thank you so much to attend this lecture. If you have any doubt, you can email me on this email, or you can contact me on this number, as well as you can WhatsApp on this number. Thank you.